If you're looking to build a 2016 gaming PC build, you're at the right place. Welcome to the October 2016 Gaming PC Builds of the Month, brought to you by noobcomputerbuild.com. And my name is Corey, the guy who runs the site over at noobcomputerbuild.com, and we do these builds every single month. We have three builds here: the October 1440 to 4K build, the October 1080p to 1440p build, and the October 1080p build. Those are laid out that way to give you an idea of what to expect in terms of playing games at their max settings and high FPS at these variable budget ranges. So starting from $600 to $1,000 to $1,300, and these builds should encapsulate most of any gamers. As well, there are hardware alternatives listed in each of the builds, which I will get to in a sec. So let's move on for the builds. We'll start with the $1,300 build and move our way downwards, and as well I'll put some links so that you can jump directly to those builds. Otherwise, visit the site noobcomputerbuild.com, or if you want to direct links to purchase the hardware, those links are in the description below. As well, feel free to leave any comments here or on the site. Let's get started. So with the $1,300 build, what you can expect is this is for gamers that want to play at 1440p, so like 2K resolution settings all the way into 4K if they want to dabble into that. Don't expect to max games out at 4K, but you can definitely play in at 4K. So starting here, we have the processor. We have the Intel Core i5 6600K, $237.49. Pair that with a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. To cool that down, there's no stock cooler included, so we will. That's why we include this one. It's a great air cooler, and it has been for years now. That comes in at $33.92. The motherboard we have is the MSI Z170A. The MSI Z170A Gaming Pro Carbon motherboard here. I got stuck up here. This is the same one as included last month. $159.99. Should be able to overclock the 6600K without any problems. To pair that with that, the major driving force behind this build and getting those high performance rates in any of the games, we have this Asus GeForce GTX 1070 8GB card. Finally comes down to price at a reasonable rate. The MRSP, close to the MRSP, $405. Great cost for this. These graphics cards came out in the early summer, and you can expect fantastic gameplay out of these with high FPS for a good cost. So RAM, we have the Ballistic Sport LT 16GB kit, $69.99. That's DDR4 kit. For our storage, we include an SSD. This is a 500GB Samsung 850 EVO. This is kind of the go-to SSD cards to go with, as they come at a great price for what you get for them now. And 500GB SSDs are now, they're way more affordable than they used to be. So you might as well go with that. If you want to bump up the storage, there are 1TB ones available as well. You can just get a regular hard disk drive if you want to just store media and whatnot on. But here 500GB is pretty good for most gamers, especially if you're starting out with a new build. Power supply, EVGA Supernova 750G2, $104.99. It's a really, I like these power supplies. I have a 750G2 myself. I've never had any problems with it, and they're highly rated, gold rated, high efficiency. You can go get the platinum ones for a little more. I think they're about $130, something like that, for what the 750 platinum version of the EVGAs, which came out not too long ago. And for the case this month, we have this modern, sleek, elegant Corsair Carbide Clear 400C case for $102.42. You might see a trend this month, as I tend to have chosen I like the sleek, modern looking cases, because I don't know, I just like the minimalistic look to them. Anyways, this is a good PC case, and this comes out to current $1,268 at the beginning of the month, so we are well under budget with some breathing room, which is great. So if you wanted to have some upgrade suggestions, you have a little more than that $1,300 or $1,268 to spend. You could upgrade by substituting any of the hardware in the build above with any of this as well. These could be upgrade suggestions for the future, who knows. But if you do more than gaming, the i5 6600K is great for gaming, and you won't get much of a difference going with an i7. But if you do video work or media work of any sorts, an i7 might benefit you. So the Intel Core Box i7 6700K could be for you, $332.99. Sorry, that was the old price. It's at $329.99. Not much of a difference, but there you have it. Better graphics card upgrade. We have the EVGA GeForce GTX 1080. So this is a step up from the 1070. $644.99. For cooling, if you want to get a more higher efficient cooler, a liquid cooler, instead of the Air Evo Hyper 212 Evo that is included in the build, you could go with this Corsair Hydro Series H100 IV2 $104.99. If you want to bump up in those, even further bump up in those read-write speeds on an SSD, you could go with a PCIe SSD, such as the Samsung 950 Pro for $315.62. All right, that has it for the high-end extreme build. Sorry, just a note, if you did go with all the upgrades, this build would become $1,827 as of the beginning of October 2016. Now let's move on to the mid-range build, the high-end gaming PC build. This is for those gamers that want to go from 1080p all the way into 1440p, usually without any problems. And this is kind of, I would say, is a pretty good go-to build for anyone that kind of wants to max out any game at, standard resolutions all the way into higher resolutions. And this is our $1,000 build. So for the processor, we have the Intel i5 6600K 23749. Again, a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo CPU cooler, $33.92. However, this time, for a motherboard, we have a Gigabyte Intel Z170 Gaming 3, the GA Z170X Gaming 3 motherboard, $134.99. Great board for its price, for sure. It comes with most of any inclusions in a motherboard that most gamers need. Usually when you go over and above that, you get some quirky additions such as gaming LAN and that kind of stuff, which isn't necessarily worth it in the end all the time to pay such a premium for your motherboard. For graphics cards for the $1,000 build, we have two suggestions, not two to get, but you can get either or. I would look up benchmarks on YouTube or Google or wherever you want to look at benchmarks, because there's tons out there for the games that you want to play specifically. But you can go with either of these cards and you'll be fine. For $279.99, go with a Sapphire Radeon RX 488GB, or choose a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1060 graphics card for $249.99. It's up to you what you go with. Either way, you should be good. For RAM, we have the Ballistic Sport LT 8GB kit of DDR4 RAM, $39.99. This time for the SSD, we have the Samsung 850 EVO 250GB version, $99.99. Power supply, we have the EVGA Supernova 650G1, $79.27. And then the computer case, another modern, sleek, elegant case. I actually quite like this one, the NZXT S340, $74.99. Mid-tower case, has the side window. It also comes with one without a side window. I also believe it comes in other colors if you wanted, but this build comes out to $944. Again, buffer zone if you want to spend a little more, or or if you want to spend under $1,000. So this build comes in well under $1,000. Again, for those that have a little more to spend or want to upgrade, suggestions for the future, any of these could be substituted. If you did substitute them all, it would come out to $1,307. So you could get a way better SSD, the Extreme Pro SanDisk. So this not only bumps up your storage, but it also is a slight increase in read-write speeds. And this is $195.99. So you can get that instead of the Evo, the Samsung Evo SSD up here. For a graphics card upgrade, you can go with a GTX 1070 $429 for an upgrade in the power supply efficiency. So like I mentioned earlier, you can go with the EVGA Supernova 650p2, which is the platinum rated version, slightly more energy efficient, $99.99. Or if you want a more customizable, efficient cooler, CPU cooler, you can go with a Corsair Hydro Series H80i V2, such as this one here, for $94.99. Now moving on to the last build we have here, and this is for standard HD gaming, 1080p gaming, and should do great in most of any games out there. And this comes in at $600, actually just under $600. So it's not quite $600 like the other builds, but under budget anyhow. So starting with the processor, with the Intel Core i3 6100, $118.90. The motherboard, this is kind of a newer release of H170 board, but we have the ASRock H170 Pro 4, $89.99. So great price for motherboard, because the one that we had before was actually more, and they kind of include all the same features. So kind of a great bang for your buck here. Graphics card, Asus ROG Strix or ST RIX, Radeon RX 470, 4GB version, $199.99. RAM, we have a Ballistic Sport LT 8GB kit, $39.99. SSD, Kingston Digital 120GB SSD, $44.99. You could bump that up for not much more if you go with the Kingston Digital version of SSDs, such as a 256GB version, for a little more than that, but not too much more. Power supply, EVGA 500 W1, 3748, 500 watt PSU. Computer case, we have a Corsair Carbide Series 200R for $59.99. This comes out to a total of $589 as of the beginning of October 2016. As per usual, we have some upgrade suggestions. The cooler, you could go with another. There is a stock cooler that is included with the i3 6100, but if you want a better cooler, you could go with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, $33.92. For a graphics card, you can bump it up to an RX 480, 8GB version, $279.99. Or if you want a CPU upgrades and you want to go with an Intel i5, such as the Intel i5 6500, you can spend $204, and that would be instead of the i3 6100 for $118. And you can just substitute those without a problem. It's just about choosing this one over the other one. Storage upgrade, you could go with a 500GB kind of budget SSD, such as this ADATA SP550 480GB version, and this is $112.99. And now that does it for all three of the builds. These builds should encapsulate most gamers out there, unless you have an extreme budget. But the more you go up in kind of your budget and costs, you won't basically the performance upgrades diminish with the more you spend over and above this. And this is of my opinion, of course. Unless you do really high extreme 4K gaming, or that's what you're interested in, you can definitely invest more in your build, but this should encapsulate, like I said, most gamers out there. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment below, or visit the site noobcomputerbuild.com. Leave a comment there, which I really appreciate, and I have no problem helping you out. And just to wrap things up, these builds do not include OSs, so you can, here's a table of operating systems. Pick whichever you want at your leisure, but it's up to you. But here are the costs for some of them, such as Windows 8.1, $88.99, or just go straight up to Windows 10 for $90.72. All about the same, roughly the same costs. But it's up to you. You can play around with free OSs if you wanted, such as Ubuntu or SteamOS. But yeah, that wraps it up for this month. And until next month, happy building.